To monitor and assess the impacts of technology insertion on joint system performance in the context of near real-world complexity, we've developed the Joint Activity Design and Evaluation platform known as JADE. JADE allows researchers to administer carefully designed scenarios or staged worlds to participate in a controlled manner and then collect data using a variety of methods. It is a one-stop shop for objective and subjective data collection management and experimental control. At the highest conceptual level, JADE is a configurable platform for administering low-cost research studies for general scientific and engineering purposes, particularly with respect to feasibility studies and other test and evaluation efforts. It provides the Air Force or other Department of Defense agencies with the tools to efficiently validate claims about the efficacy of specific technologies, processes, or other support interventions before significant investment from the DoD or other investors is made. In other words, if a contractor claims that an intervention works, JADE can serve as the research platform to validate those claims to justify decisions about continued financial support. The JADE platform accomplishes this by remaining agnostic to closed or proprietary technologies, providing a growing inventory of scenarios and measures, and supporting data-driven decision-making. JADE is agnostic to closed or proprietary technologies. What this means is that while technologies can be integrated with JADE, such as emerging technologies or variants of a technology, it is not necessary to actually integrate them within JADE. JADE allows research facilitators to simulate the inputs and outputs of these emerging technologies and present them to research participants as if they were real. This approach is sometimes known as Wizard of Oz testing due to its similarity of having a human behind the curtain manipulating aspects of the study while giving participants the impression that their interactions with the system are automatic or autonomous. Simulating key elements of technology dramatically reduces the cost and time required for actual integration. The real or simulated elements of technology presented to participants for their response in a research setting are known as stimuli. A stimulus can take many forms within JADE. In one of our current research efforts, our stimuli takes the form of what we call faux intelligence products, or FIPS, because we're currently investigating certain aspects of how intelligence analysis is impacted by differences in scenario difficulty. Our FIPS currently include text and image-based documents, but other modalities such as interactive websites or audio files could be used depending on the study requirements. You can see in this example that one of the FIPS resembles a threat to joint operations report that provides our participants with some background information for a staged world scenario. These stimuli, or in our case, the FIPS, can be presented to participants in various ways, including automated schedules or even manually by a facilitator. This is because there are instances where it's not realistic or feasible to present stimuli on a fixed time schedule. For example, if a participant has 5 minutes to analyze a FIP and they finish that analysis after the first 2 minutes, it might be a waste of time to have them wait around for the next 3 minutes for the next FIP in the series. In our current research, we have our research team announce the availability of a new stimulus to participants using chat messages in a manner that is sometimes used in the intelligence community. I'll describe the chat tool features in greater detail a little later in this video. Staged worlds are scenarios that have been methodically constructed to help researchers investigate the joint activities of humans and technologies. Scenarios contain a collection of stimuli that are intended to tell the story and elicit some type of response from participants. JADE can simulate a complexity through a growing number of scenarios, which we've developed through a series of observations and interviews with Air Force operators and other subject matter experts. In our current work, these staged world scenarios are composed of several FIPS that are presented sequentially to participants to represent a series of events. These FIPS include a request for information, or RFI, along with additional background documents such as a threat to joint operations report and associated documents from a variety of intelligence disciplines. Once the scenarios and associated FIPS have been developed according to the desired research objectives, they are entered into JADE for use in their research. Researchers can then assign the appropriate scenarios based on the complexity or challenge requirements of the research to the participants during the participant profile creation process. When participants have logged into JADE using their participant IDs, they will be presented with several options, including one or more surveys and questionnaires as shown at the top part of the screen, and one or more scenarios at the bottom. Depending on the study, participants may be required to complete these in a particular order or may be allowed to complete them as desired. We are currently viewing the scenario introduction screen. The documents on this screen provide an overview of the expected task and story elements of the scenario, such as the date, the location, the actors, etc. We'll cover the type of data that can be collected through JADE momentarily. We just wanted to demonstrate that the complexity and challenge can be varied or simulated based on the number of FIPS, FIP characteristics such as the Intel discipline type, the quality or reliability of the data contained in the FIP, or even the time allotted for analysis. In addition to the static methods of varying challenge or complexity mentioned previously, changes can also be made dynamically by the research team during study execution by the research team using the chat tool. Returning back to the facilitator side of the JADE platform, we are now looking at the facilitator's view for monitoring and interacting with participants during data collection. This area here is the chat log. It's a record of the various chat messages that have been sent and received through the chat tool between the facilitator and one or more participants or confederates. At present, as a method of experimental control in one of our studies, JADE is configured to provide a limited set of canned chat messages for both the facilitator and the participant to use. In this example, the canned messages include several notifications that a new intelligence document is ready for analysis, and they vary by levels of urgency. On the participant side, they have several options of acknowledging that notification. However, if your research protocol requires researchers and participants to communicate freely in chat, then JADE can be configured to support that. In fact, this approach enables the research team to dynamically adjust complexity and challenge by sending messages with varying intended effects. For example, if a researcher wanted to increase the challenge, then a misleading or untrue chat message could be sent to the participant in real time. If the research team desires to enable full chat communication options, it will be critical for the facilitator to encode some meaning into the chat messages to help researchers understand the participants' responses to those messages. These chat messages can be encoded using the encoding tools here. The challenge manipulation field indicates the type of challenge manipulation that a message from the facilitator is intended to convey, such as implying a relationship between two elements or offering misleading statements. This annotation is only seen by the facilitator. The severity field indicates the severity or magnitude of the intended challenge manipulation. This annotation is also only seen by the facilitator. We recommend having a clearly defined rubric or protocol for using these tools in your study as a means of exerting a degree of experimental control. The other two fields in this area are for drafting chat messages, or in this case, selecting from a predefined set of canned messages, as well as for selecting FIPS from an intelligence database to send to the participant for analysis. JADE supports a growing inventory of heterogeneous performance measures and metrics of process, outcome, cognition, and physiology. JADE is instrumented to capture many system events to support various process measures and metrics, such as the number of times documents have been reviewed and the time spent reviewing them. These metrics are not displayed within JADE, but are generated at the conclusion of the study because they aren't generally useful for facilitating the studies. However, the events themselves are useful for facilitation because they alert the research team when participants have initiated or completed certain trigger events. These key events are recorded and displayed in the event log. In our research, we're currently assessing the quality and rigor of the final intelligence reports generated by our participants after they have reviewed a set number of FIPS. We're using a rubric created by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which is itself based on the Intelligence Community Directive number 203. As you can see in this example, a qualified assessor can see the participant-generated final intelligence report and then assign a score along one or more of the intelligence standards selected for the study. Assessors can hover over the scale for the details on the rubric for that standard. So far, our examples of data collection have focused on sources internal to the suite of JADE tools, such as button clicks, automated system events, and participant responses to various prompts. However, JADE supports data-driven decision-making by enabling the capture and storage of performance data generated outside of the JADE platform, so that the relevant data from any source can be linked together for analysis. If a measurement instrument is administered outside of JADE and it has the ability to export the resulting data as a file, then that file can be uploaded into JADE for storage and later analysis. By uploading the file into JADE for storage, JADE can include the various links to the rest of the participant data in the database, so you don't have to do it manually. In this case, we had a participant complete the psychomotor vigilance task, or PVT, from an interactive website outside of JADE. The PVT website generated a CSV file that we can now upload into JADE for analysis. Another area where JADE will be able to support data-driven insights is through the various analysis tools, analytics, and data visualizations that will be available on the analytics screen. The graphs seen here are notional currently, but this area is currently under development, and we look forward to sharing the final product with you in the near future. In these early stages of maturity, JADE's features and capabilities require the support of a software engineer or developer to make any adjustments to how studies will be administered. Our goal with the JADE platform, however, is to enable teams to manage the evaluation process without significant software development expertise. To accomplish this, we're working on some additional tools, such as a scenario builder, for researchers to systematically design, develop, and deploy scenarios and stimuli that will help you achieve your own research objectives. We are also working on a study configuration tool that will enable researchers to configure the workflows of their evaluation efforts, such as the number and type of questionnaires to be administered, the number of scenarios to be included, the amount of time provided to complete certain events, and the order in which these various elements are presented to participants. We look forward to sharing more about these features with you as they mature. At the highest conceptual level, JADE is a configurable platform for administering low-cost research studies for general scientific and engineering purposes, particularly with respect to feasibility studies and other test and evaluation efforts related to technology insertion. If you'd like to know more, please contact us at jade@mile2.us. Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you soon.